That's what Mortal Kombat 2021, the movie, made me feel like in a bad way.
Made me feel bad.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Talk Slot Boys. I am your Tyler. This is your Kyle.
I am your Kyle. This is your Tyler.
We're slightly intoxicated. This is actually the first time I've been intoxicated in like a year, which is, fun times. But you know what made me fucking want to drink? Witnessing the new Mortal Kombat movie.
It was we literally just finished it. We're sitting there. We started talking about it, and I went, "Holy shit, we should just record this. Why not?"
Mm-hmm.
So,
Jesus Christ, that was a bad movie.
I was legitimately speechless. Like the moment it was over, I was like, I know. I can't believe it's over. I felt like nothing happened.
I watched you when the credits hit, and you were just slack-jawed in awe, just staring at the fucking TV like. There has to be more. That was not a movie, right?
I cannot comprehend how bad that was.
Let me preface this by saying we expected this movie to not be good.
Oh yeah.
We went into it wanting to make fun of it. Because we were both me more than him, but we're both fighting game fans. We like Mortal Kombat. It's
as
you've heard from some of our podcast stuff, fighting games is a big part of our thing. And Mortal Kombat is a fighting game, and Mortal Kombat has been a part of my childhood, my growing up experience, and he's sort of
it's been here or there. It's been one of the games I've played when I got to my friend's house. So it's been special to me.
So they're rebooting the movie franchise. I'm like, I have to watch this. I've put it off for 3 weeks because I wanted to watch it with someone. I didn't want to partake in this by myself. Luckily, Kyle showed up today, and we got to watch it together.
And that's why we're in the same room.
And
it's never happened.
Jesus fucking Christ! I was expecting the movie to be not good, in a funny way, and in certain ways it was.
Oh yeah.
But in general, what a just bad movie. That was just a bad movie.
We went into it with extremely low expectations.
Yeah, no,
it's a video
very
game.
low.
First of all, it's a video game.
Yeah,
movie,
those
right?
never work.
They're never
in
good.
In rare cases, they're okay. But I don't think there's ever been a great video game movie.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just I went with low expectations, and then it kind of just felt like nothing happened.
No,
nothing had any kind of weight to it. It almost felt because when you're playing the game, right? I guess if we compare it to the game,
yeah.
When you play the game, you do a fight. It ends as a fatality, and then everything's fine.
Yeah.
You know, that's literally every event in that movie.
And granted, the story in the games has never been great. I mean, stories in fighting games are never good because it's basically just an excuse to fight other characters. But even so. The campaigns from the games are significantly better than this atrocity of movie.
At least the campaign in the games feel like they're going somewhere. This movie, okay, so I don't know where to start with this fucking.
I don't know either. There's so much to unpack here.
So
there's
I guess
so much to unpack
while
here.
we're talking about a comparison of the game, what did it do wrong? I guess.
I mean, that is a loaded question.
But the thing that immediately came to mind was they changed so much about so many of the characters.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess real fast, we're probably gonna spoil a lot of stuff. So spoiler.
Yeah,
warning.
spoiler alert. Put it up here. Just put this in. I'm about to spoil some stuff.
I guess you have to put it in because you just did it.
Spoilers!
So, fucking Kato's eye is magical.
Kano...
So, okay, I guess
here's
not
the
just...
fucking... No, we have to start. We gotta back the fuck up, okay? Here, first thing, Jax loses his arms Sub-Zero. That makes sense. Okay, Jax is gonna get his robot arms, right? Because Jax has robot arms. Right? Actually, no, take it back further than that. Yeah. Jax introduces himself to weird, generic character as, my name's Jax. Not full name. I'm pretty sure Jax is full name in the lore.
Born Jackson Briggs.
Jackson Briggs.
Yeah.
Its name is Jackson Briggs. And he introduces himself as Jax. Come on. How many? It takes 10 seconds of typing shit into Google to figure out his birth name that he would introduce himself. Jax is a fucking nickname. God damn it. It's
I don't know.
How little effort do you have to put in to writing your fucking movie to just being oh, this guy's name is Jax in the games. Clearly doesn't have a last name or a real name. His name is just Jax. And he's gonna introduce himself. He's gonna show up to this fight with this generic ass character. He's gonna be my name's Jax. And then you're just gonna be okay, okay? This guy's name is Jack. We're not gonna question that. He's like Oprah. He's just got one name, and we're just gonna roll with it, okay?
I think you're a little mad about the wrong things in this movie. Because like when we were watching it, Jack shows up and Cole Young, the main character.
I didn't even know his name.
Jack shows up and he's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Jax," and I'm just like, "You don't have a name, dog? Like what's happening?"
I knew, like, I didn't remember his real name, but I was like, he has a real name. Like,
yeah,
just that's not how people introduce them. Like, if my name, if my nickname was like Cockstar, I wouldn't go up to people and introduce myself as that if it was my first time meeting them.
I was gonna say my game tag, like
my game
tag is Styles with a Z. I wouldn't walk up to every person and be like, "Yo, what's up? I'm Styles."
Yeah,
like I wouldn't.
Nicknames are earned out of respect. Yes. Like you got to work your way up to that level.
I mean, maybe he's just a lot of confidence, you know.
I mean, maybe
he has a really good KD in COD.
I thought you were gonna say he has a really good mustache and should have confidence that comes with that. So they take his body back. They take his weird limp body back
Jax's.
to the Jax's, not Jackson Briggs, just Jax. That's his birth name in this in this franchise. Like
at the hospital. it's a boy. Name him Jax. The doctor's like, "What the fuck?" Fucking whoops.
He gets taken to Raiden's temple, which is literally 3 holes in the wall of a canyon, and he gets taken there, and he's on a table, and then it's like monks are there, and I guess the monks are engineers, and they put poorly CGI'd metal bones in place of where his arms used to be, right? And it's like, okay, so these monks clearly have some form of technology to create limbs for a dude, and it's like, that's fine. I guess I can accept that. It's Mortal Kombat. It's weird, right? So we can establish that the monks have at least enough technology and weird science shit to give a black man just scrawny metal bone arms, right?
Yes.
Kano gets his eye scratched out by the worst rendition of Reptile.
Oh my god, I forgot Reptile was in this movie.
It's not. I'm not even gonna say that was Reptile. That was just like he gets attacked by an invisible iguana that we're gonna hope is not Reptile.
Yeah, because it was bad, dude. And then this whole fight with Reptile or whatever it was, the Reptile thing,
iguana
instead of Reptile.
I don't want to say that was Reptile because that makes me sad.
I like Reptile.
I like Reptile too.
It wasn't even prompted. Like
no. He just shows up.
I know.
Like they're in a trailer. They're in a trailer park
Sonia
home.
is just like fucking exposition dumping to Mr. Cole Young, whoever the fuck he was. I think that was his name.
I think I said that.
Know. And she's exposition dumping, and then all of a sudden Kano's in the corner, and you're like, how did he get there? And he's in cuffs, but they don't say why he's in cuffs.
No, they never explain that, do they?
They never explain why she captured him.
They never
and then
ever
all of a
explain
sudden
that.
they look over in the corner and the wall is like eroding.
Yeah.
Because like there's
like the acid, and then like an iguana man just shows up, and then they fight the iguana man, and he scratches Kano's eye, and we're like, okay, this is how Kano's gonna get his robot eye, I guess. And then they kill the reptile thing, and he rips his heart out, and he's like, oh, you fucker. And then like he does the weird and then he's like, oh, I finally got him. Look, I'm a good artist. I drew a picture of me killing reptiles. Finally got him.
The best artist, a little crazy.
Yeah, and it's like what? Okay, sure. Backstory. I guess you've been fighting Reptile for a long time, even though that doesn't make any sense because he would have scratched your eye out by this point. I would guess, because why would he just give up and run away? It doesn't make sense that you would have had multiple fights with this thing. Also, it doesn't make sense why he's showing up in the fucking trailer. It doesn't make sense why Reptile's in the movie. It's not Reptile. It doesn't make any sense why this iguana man is in this movie at all.
Can I point out that the only attempt at creating some kind of backstory for Kano was that he wrote the word finally killed it? Like, if he would have just said I killed it, there would have been no implication as to like him doing anything before this movie.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
They had to write a word on a napkin.
Like that is one of a million
all.
Examples of how this movie goes out of its way to make itself fucking suck. Kano gets his eye scratched out by the iguana man.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, clearly these monks are gonna do robot surgery, give him his robot eye. That doesn't happen. Instead, he gets roasted by Kung Lao at dinner over egg rolls, and through his sheer anger, shoots a laser beam out of his eye through magic and anger. And everyone's like, okay, and the movie moves on and never and you just fucking accept that. And then and that's not the only time that they go out of their way to not explain how people get their powers, because then when Jax is trying to lift up the rock off of Sonia, and I literally said this jokingly, I was like, maybe he's gonna get his robot muscles magically like the Kano eye, and then it fucking happens, and I cried.
Oh my god, we pointed that when we watched this, and I just remembered it. Sonia throws that fucking bottle of whatever at his eye, and it short circuits, and you were just in a robot.
What the fuck was that? Okay, no, hold the fucking phone, okay? Because he doesn't have a robot eye.
He got it
because
magically.
you retcon the shit out of that. You're just no, he has magic lasers. It's not a robot laser. It's a magic laser, because we don't have time to show the monks fucking surgically implanting his eye with a new eye. His eye is fine. We just did the scratch for fun. And then you're like, okay, well then I'm gonna throw a bottle at his fucking eye because the climactic fight between Sonia and Kano is in a fucking trailer park, and we're gonna just throw a bottle at his eye and it's gonna short circuit like it's a fucking robot eye, but it's not, because you said it was magic.
So I mean, obviously the fact that the characters are just retconned to shit, actually what they are, is terrible. The acting
was not good. I said this from the beginning of the movie, the scene when Jax picks them up in the car, and it just
they were
feels
driving down the road.
It feels like high school production level of forced acting.
Kid you not?
And
kid you not? Fucking Jax is just you gotta fight. I don't know how to fight. No shit, you're gonna fight.
That is verbatim what he says. And then immediately jump cut to him meeting Sonia in a trailer park, walking through their house in their weird fucking conspiracy theory dungeon. This motherfucker's getting ice cream in his family. Okay, that's where this starts. That's where this starts. There's literally a clip of him going on an ice cream cone, and then 10 seconds later, there's Sub-Zero just appears and starts throwing snow. He just starts throwing snow. He brings the snow back, it starts snowing. He's like, I don't want that snow. And then he just snow everywhere, snow fight. And then he goes, and then Jax just shows up and fucking takes him in. He's like, yeah, I'm a main character too. Hop in my sedan. And they start driving, right? And then they have their whole thing about the birthmark and whatever. And it's it feels...
Okay.
It feels like it was written by a 17-year-old who made this movie with his friends on a weekend.
It really does.
When,
it feels like
writing wise. Yeah, it feels like we made it in high school. Yeah.
Here's my thing, right? Is because I said earlier, I was reading some reviews of it right after we watched it. Apparently the director and the writer are fairly new people. And
that makes sense.
And I guess that makes sense, right? But the review I was reading on Letterboxd, I would give them credit, but I already closed Letterboxd. I'm sorry. They were if you're gonna have a first movie for a writer and a director pairing, don't give them a major IP that doesn't make any sense.
That's a lot to fucking put on their shoulders.
I don't. Okay, so I mean we've shit on it for a while. I'm gonna challenge you. What are some good things? Because I can think of some good things.
The ice looked really good. The
because
CGI
you're mentioning Sub-Zero with the snow.
Yes,
and
a lot of the CGI to me did not look the best.
Mm-hmm.
But the ice effects look really. I think the whole fucking budget just went into those ice effects.
They really did.
The ice looked
and it sucks
really
because
good.
it feels like maybe you should have gotten the fire because there was a lot of fire in that movie too.
No, the fire looked fucking bad, and I don't get why. It's not hard to look at the fire and just be like, yeah, that looks really fake and orange. Bloom it out, make it brighter and whiter, have it match.
It's just
real fire that appears in some of the scenes. It just, and I had that problem with so many effects in the movie. And granted, VFX are hard. Yeah. I can't do that shit. I'm not gonna pretend like I can do it better. But I am not a professional VFX artist who is tasked with making a Hollywood grade AAA blockbuster film. You should know, if you're already at that point, what real fire looks like. And $55 million went into making this movie.
Is the budget $55 million was the budget for Mortal Kombat?
I would
actually
say
don't know if that's a big budget or not.
I would say 50 million of that went into the ice effects, and none of it went into the other.
So here's some like opposite. So like Zack Snyder's Justice League got 70 million. Wonder Woman 1984 got 200 million.
200 million to make people hate themselves?
I hated that movie. That's a movie for another fucking video, I guess.
God.
Wonder Woman 84 was terrible. Dunes get 165. So I guess it is kind of on the low end. Of
technically,
budgeting.
which makes sense since they filmed pivotal scenes in a fucking trailer.
I guess. So I mean,
They didn't have to do that.
I guess when I consider how bad the budget was, I'm low-key impressed with how good some of those.
Here's what they
visuals
should have
looked.
done. They should have saved some money, not made Sub-Zero and Scorpion's costumes as embellished and thick.
They were thick.
They were
thick with
thick.
too many C's.
Yeah, no, like they should have just stuck to like some classic ass ninja costumes. Would have made the choreography easier for them, I'm sure, because they wouldn't have had to have those lumbering shoulder pads.
No, it was
flopping around.
I think you said it best in the movie whenever you were saying that like they shouldn't look like samurai, they should look ninjas.
Yeah,
that was the best way to go.
And
about
I think that like, and obviously they're trying to kind of play off of like the more recent games, because like MKX, MK11, they are portrayed more with like more armor, more samurai-esque, you know.
Yeah.
But like I think when you transition that to live action, it just looks like it's too much. Like Sub-Zero, the entire movie just looked like he was covered in so much bullshit, and like I just couldn't take him seriously. A single frame he was in the movie, I could not take him seriously. Like, you look like a fucking Power Rangers villain. I can't handle it. Like, no, like you even said, he looks like fucking Shredder from the 90s Ninja.
Yeah, I saw.
He looks exactly like him.
He looked like
he looks
Shredder
exactly like him.
Here, ready for this? Put up a picture of Shredder on the screen from the 1990s fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's right here. Boom. Now, right over here, put up a picture of fucking Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 2021.
Now put up the meme of Pam. It's the same thing. So I think at the end of the day, also Raiden wasn't a character. He just kind of showed up.
That's kind of how every character felt in this movie.
And Kung Lao died. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Kung Lao and Goro died. Kung Lao's like my favorite Mortal Kombat character. Goro is like his favorite fucking character in Mortal Kombat. And they both died in this movie.
Here's the thing.
Granted, Kung Lao got to be badass.
Kung Lao did one badass thing. He did the best fatality in the movie. The only good fatality in the movie.
True.
And that was cool. And like Kung Lao was also like one of the only good actors in the movie.
Yeah, he portrayed the character extremely well. Other than that moment where he was sitting at the table like egging on fucking
but like
Kano,
whatever.
and he's just like, "You're a dog. You failed your
yeah.
You are bad."
Like,
and I'm just like, good insults.
Here's the thing though. Like you bring in characters like Goro, who's supposed to be like a really like pivotal character, a really powerful character from Mortal Kombat, and you reduce him to being like a fucking jobber and going and fighting a dude at a lodge and then just dying from this generic character who gets Black Panther armor and random ass tonfa sticks that he stabs him in the face with. And it's like, why you gotta do my man like that? Like, my man's supposed to be good. And even worse, you take Shao Kahn. You take my man Shao Kahn, and you take Shao Kahn is supposed to be like the fucking the bad guy. Like, he's supposed to be the bad guy. And you take him and you reduce him to being like just an ugly ass, human ass looking jobber ass fucking pleb to go fight Jax on a bridge, and Jax just fucking slaps his face in and
grabs his hammer, snaps it in half.
Yeah,
and
like
just
what? Like, if you're gonna have fucking just fights that mean nothing in this movie, at least relegate them to characters that mean nothing. Don't take like the two most powerful villain characters and just throw them in to get axed by fucking dipshits. Like, that makes no sense.
And they
makes
look
no
so
goddamn
bad, though.
sense.
Like we were talking about.
Here's the thing. Goro's design looked fine, but he was comped in like he was from the World of Warcraft movie, and like it was very jarring. Shao Kahn just looked like shit. Shao Kahn just looked like some trailer trash dude that they picked up and gave face tattoos and a weird haircut. And they're like, here's a hammer, you're Shao Kahn now. He's like, oh, okay. And then he goes and fights. Like,
literally, I don't even know if he said words. Did he say words?
I don't think he ever spoke a single time in the movie.
Swung the hammer.
Yeah, no. It's like, what? Why? Like, of all the why? Shao Kahn, of all the characters. I don't know, man. That and also like Cabal, who is another one of my favorites.
That was yeah.
He just looked like here's the thing. I like that they made the mask practically. I think they should have done that. The problem is he looked like he belonged in either an old school Power Rangers episode
Seriously?
or one of the like part of the original trilogy of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Or
if you
like
insert
Predator.
him,
Like
yeah.
he just looked so out of place.
Just slap him
And,
in the
like,
Jabba's palace scene.
It looked
and
like
he
they
fits
had.
it.
It looked like they had to make that mask with like a $7 budget, and they just paper mached it together with the equipment they had lying around the office.
Yeah.
And like I just anytime
that's
he was
so
in
weird to
frame,
me,
I
right?
just could not. I couldn't handle it. I was like, this should look good. Like their approach to this was the right approach. They just did it so wrong. And like, do I know how to make it look better? No. But like,
we're not qualified.
I'm not qualified for that. They fucking are. Make him look good.
Make it
What the
good.
hell?
Like you are the people that have been tasked with a massive IP in Mortal Kombat, a series that's beloved by so many people. Why are you squandering it by doing this kind of thing? Like,
Right. Like it
understand
literally felt like it was one of those movies where they just went out of their way to make things worse than they should have been. Because even if they had stuck to the source material and went for the same plot, like it still would have been bad, but it wouldn't have been like egregiously terrible.
But at least it would have stuck to the source material.
Right.
I mean, like, because like, isn't the point of making a movie about Mortal Kombat to like, you want to respect the source material?
Yeah.
Like I just feel like they didn't do
Yeah.
that.
What?
And like they had like they had Easter eggs all over the place, like the fucking fan and like the
Yeah.
pictures on the wall.
But
we
those
talked
were
about
just
before.
like why like
why are they there? It felt like
it
they
felt
were
like they were
inserted-
just pandering to me at that
Exactly.
point. It was like, oh, this movie's bad, but like look at Katana's fan in the
They were
background.
pa-
You recognize that, don't you fucking weeb? And it's
you like the fucking games, bitch? Here's a fucking moment where you see the fan. Actually, the fan was in the background of a lot of scenes.
was
and I'm
it?
just
I
like-
only noticed it in like the one.
I noticed it in like 3 different scenes that
Oh,
like the Cabal Kano exchange. It was in the background, and then like
Also, like, what was that weird fucking Power Rangers tower that was in the background of like most of the scenes at the Raiden Temple?
yeah, seriously.
They never explained that.
I remembered something else to talk about.
Is
the
it the
entire approach to the Raiden's temple?
Yes, okay, that was
Oh
no,
my
that was
God.
legitimately the last thing I wanted to get into before we fucking shut this shit off because like
We're not gonna ramble forever.
what the fuck?
Yeah,
was
okay,
that scene, dude?
So all right.
What the fuck?
So to give you a moment in the movie, right? So Kano, fucking Sonia, and Cole Young, whatever the fuck, are all they're like, all right, we gotta get to Raiden's temple because I guess Kano for some reason knows how to get there. And so Kano takes them to the fucking temple. They jump out of a plane, I guess. Kano takes them to the desert, and they're walking through the desert to get to Raiden's temple. And for some fucking reason, they run into Liu Kang in the fucking desert. Whatever. I guess. And then they're going, but every single time they like change camera angles, it was like a different time of day.
It's like okay, so it's fucking noon, and they're
Yeah.
sitting in the desert, and then all of a sudden Liu Kang shows up, and they cut to like the fucking setting sun of the
forgot.
savannah going down, and
down.
it's just a silhouette of Liu Kang against just a blazing red sunset, and it cuts back to them
Yeah.
standing there at noon, and then Liu Kang shows up, and it kind of cuts back and forth, and then it's like pre-evening. And and it's kind of like dimming, but it's not like the dramatic fucking sunset of that shot. It's not the noon of the shot of the other two people. It's just like it's like a completely different time of day. And then they go to the Raiden's temple and it's fucking noon again. Like fucking pick a time of day. It's like how hard is it to fucking
Like I have seen reviews online leading up to watching it, and also now after watching it, that have like tried to give it credit for things.
Don't.
And it doesn't deserve it.
No, it doesn't.
Like that scene alone, it lasts like 10 minutes ish. I don't even know exactly how long. And every time the camera changes, like I said, it's a different time of day. And like, I don't know if it was like a fake set that the lighting was bad on, or if it literally was just a situation where like they're recording the scene and they had to like just cut in the middle of it all, and they come back and it was later in the day, and then they had to comp shots together, so like it just doesn't match up. I don't know, but then like even in post they could have done something.
I mean, you would. I mean, to be fair, like if they give you footage that doesn't work, there's not much you can do in post to fix that. But like,
and here's the thing, right? Is like that's not really the editor's fault in post. But
No,
you
no,
know
no, no,
what
no.
is the editor's fault? How many times there were cuts in this movie where they just didn't make sense? There's an entire exchange between Sonya and Jax after Jax gets his like weak little limp robo arms, and then fucking Sonya, Jax like, what are you trying to say? And fucking Sonya's like, why don't you get your ass back out there, soldier? And he looks at her and goes, ha.
And then it just cuts. And it's like,
But it's not even that it just cuts. It goes, ha. Cut.
no,
And
I
I'm
know.
like, why did it pause?
Legitimately, I rewound the movie and watched it a second time because I could not fucking fathom that was actually an actual edit that was in the fucking movie.
There were many times
There were several
where
times.
you and I both commented that was a weird cut.
Yeah, I think the time where like Kano first shows up and they're like having a conversation with him and he like fucking like moves around a lot and it just does it does a hard cut to like the other dude's view and he's just sitting there completely static.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh, it was like an over the shoulder shot.
What the fuck was that?
It was a shot of Jack sitting in the thing and then he like swung forward with his head and then it went from behind him looking like Cole Young and he's just
sitting there. And I'm like, okay, well,
there's like you've broken the entire continuity of the fact that it's one like it's little because like obviously just like as an outside perspective, you could see that and you could be like, oh shit, okay, that is just a little thing, you know, right? It's whatever. It's a little moment that maybe they just didn't have enough time on the day that they shot it, whatever. But it's shit like that takes you out of a scene entirely.
No, yeah.
You lose the continuity of a scene. You should have shot the next scene either like with just Cole Young's reaction to it, or it should have been with him moving a little bit, kind of recoiling back into his chair while he's chained up. It's
and like
it's
I guess
little things
I
like
guess
that
there's
really
a
fucks it up.
possibility that like they didn't like notice that when they were filming it, and then they just kind of had to be like, oh fuck it in post.
But they also were given, even if $55 million as a budget is low, it doesn't change the fact that they're professionals.
I totally like it is. I'm not saying
like
it's
Warner
acceptable
Brothers.
that happened. I'm just saying that like as an editor, I get it when you are given shit and are told to make it look good and you just can't.
Yeah,
I deal with that shit all the time.
No,
like,
I mean that's 100% fair. It's not the
but like
editor's fault,
also I don't work for an industry that makes like $50 billion movies. I make like shitty ads.
I'm not saying it's the editor's fault. I'm more so saying that like there are people that should have been on set that were looking at the shots every single time that they're done and go, all right, we're moving on.
The fact that the editor was given that footage to work with that did not work is unacceptable for a AAA blockbuster movie
100%.
based on a hyper successful franchise.
Well, I mean, we've been ranting about this for a while.
Okay.
And I mean, we could rant about this for a while.
Dude, I could rant about this for days.
There were so many things we could fucking talk about.
The point of this video is just to tell you, if you like Mortal Kombat, or if you like good movies, don't watch the new Mortal Kombat movie.
That should cover about every person on the planet, I'd hope.
I'd hope.
A good chunk of people like Mortal Kombat, an even greater chunk of people enjoy good movies.
I would think.
So, I mean...
I'm gonna... Kyle, what would you rate this movie? Out of...
Let's do it out of 5.
Out of 5? Okay, that's easy.
And then you can do like halves, too, if you want.
Oh, I don't need to do halves.
Uh-oh. All right, I am solidly gonna give this a 1.5.
Wow.
1.5. I think that, I mean, we didn't talk about like, we could have gone into some of the more good things like we were talking about it when we were watching the movie. The very beginning of this movie and the very ending of this movie had really great scenes. Like the flashback to Scorpion when
I would say the two scenes that Scorpion was in were the only scenes worth watching out of this whole movie.
100%. It started and I literally looked at you when I went, I really doubt any of the other scenes of this movie are going to be this good. And it was exactly that.
That's what happened.
Because even the last scene that Scorpion was in, Cole Young was also there, and it was kind of shit.
The last scene with Scorpion had no weight because Scorpion just fucking showed up.
Yeah, there was no explanation.
There was no context. It just fucking happened, and he left, and it was done. And I was like,
it was just like
choreography was kind of neat, but like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I don't really understand that either.
Yeah, no, I'm also gonna give this a 1.5. I was gonna give it a 1. But also, like, I've seen much worse movies in my
100%.
life. So, giving it a 2 seems, like, a bit much. 1.5 seems good.
I think that 1.5 is decent because, like we've said, there's a ton of problems and we could gush about even more problems. But I do think, like we said, the ice effects...
Actually, no. You know, I'm going to bump it up to a 2 because of those ice effects. I'm going to give it a 2 because of the ice.
I gave it a 1.5 because of the ice effects.
That's
I would have given it a 1 if it wasn't for the ice effects.
I think like, baseline would have been a 1. I've seen much worse movies than that, though. Like...
For me, baseline's a half or a 0.
That's
I
fair.
guess I
That's
could give
fair.
a movie a 0, but I don't think that it happened.
I'm gonna give it a 2. Note that I hate it, and I'm not gonna watch it again. But like, those ice effects were very good. 2 out of 10.
The ice
two,
effects
2 out
were
of
very
5.
good.
Sorry, 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. Mine's a 1.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And I think the ice effects were good. I think that there were like the scorpion scenes were really good, and there were moments where I laughed because like Kano's character was pretty good. I kind of liked him. I mean, obviously the whole plot thing was kind of stupid. And I mean, at the end of the day, it was also just really cool to see some of the characters. Like I mean, like with like Kung, the moment that Kung Lao did his fatality,
it was cool to see some of the characters. Other characters, it was really painful to see them.
Yeah,
such as Shao Kahn being just a guy with a ponytail.
Yeah, or Goro showing up for 5 seconds just to get killed. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I do think, and the other thing I was gonna say about this movie, kind of wrap it up, is I've seen interviews of some of the actors talking about this movie, and they are obviously passionate about the series in a lot of ways, and they're very excited to be portraying these roles, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's not their fault that the movie sucks.
It's not their fault. Yeah, it's not their fault that they were given a script that was shit.
Right, like they can't change that. Like that is out of their control. They did the best they could.
And you could tell that those guys were having a lot of fun with the stuff that they did.
Sure, yeah.
Even if the stuff that they were doing was pretty bad. Yeah. So I think that bumps it up from a 1 to a 1.5 for me. For you, it bumps you up to a 2. And I can understand that. I could see that. I'm not going to budge, though, because at the end of the day, I still feel like nothing happened. Yeah. And I was just really disappointed.
So, to conclude this review, Mortal Kombat 2021 is a fucking whoops. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe to the Talks a Lot Boys. We've never done this before, but if you enjoyed this, let us know. Maybe we'll do some more.
We'd be so down to do
movie reviews because I would love to do this more.
Drunk or not, you know.
Drunk or not, yeah. I'm typically not, so might not be as funny next time. I don't know.
Unless you want it, then we'll turn back into an alcoholic.
Glad you value my life.
Content. We gotta make the content.
Fuck my liver. Content. All right, guys. Catch you later.
Fucking
Fucking.